Okay, and now let's move on to focus on how FileCloud can help you measure your path to compliance in days rather than weeks or months. So this slide covers 7 steps. It may be fewer for some organizations, of course, depending on the complexity of their data governance and compliance needs. But these are all of the relevant pillars of a good data governance framework that the FileCloud solution can support. In orange is an overview of the actual FileCloud features or the steps as seen from the IT perspective, while in green is the perspective of an end user. And we could include in that a data protection officer or a compliance manager, for example. And a quick definition of the word metadata is simply a set of data that describes and gives information about other data. So looking at the first step here, metadata set creation. So the FileCloud solution allows the IT admin to utilize strong metadata management capabilities to classify files using tags, keywords, custom metadata sets, etc. And from an end user perspective, then a metadata set is created for documents marked as confidential. So for the purposes of this slide, we're just going to imagine that somebody has done something as simple as writing the word confidential in the document. And we move on then to smart content classification. So this applies automated metadata for better organization and security. Search patterns make identifying, for example, personally identifiable information simple and easy. And the FileCloud smart classification feature is smart enough to identify typical metadata sets like payment card information automatically. And from an end user perspective, then documents that have been marked as confidential have been uploaded, and the solution will associate them with that metadata set, aka the attribute confidential, and now certain rules will be applied accordingly. Obviously, another major pillar of data governance is data leak prevention, or DLP. So smart data leak prevention in the FileCloud solution provides protection throughout the data lifecycle. A simple, flexible, rule-driven smart DLP system enables admins to closely control the degree to which users can access, edit, download, and transfer. And from an end user point of view, you could remove public access, for example. So if the DLP policy denies it, FileCloud Smart DLP will prevent a user from externally sharing the document marked as confidential or sending it to external organizations. So even inadvertent sharing through simple human error is protected against. Data retention then also key to data governance, of course. So retention policies that you can set up in FileCloud will allow you to block specific actions, for example, uploading, downloading, deleting, syncing, whatever it may be, on any files and folders. And you can specify what happens when the policy expires. And from an end user perspective, it could be, that no deletion is allowed. So the retention policy disables a user's ability to delete any of those files marked as confidential. And in this example, documents are then moved to archival status when the policy expires. So that could be one choice that you make in terms of an action when the policy itself expires. The compliance dashboard, then, this is a great feature of FileCloud. So it's the compliance center makes navigating the complex standards really easy. System admins can follow FileCloud's built-in checklist-based interface for best practices around ITAR, GDPR, HIPAA, etc. And apply the necessary security and sharing settings in order to be compliant with those frameworks. And of course, then from the end user perspective, they are compliant with GDPR, requiring the companies ensure files with protected information have not been shared inappropriately. And on the next one, then we have the monitoring governance with SIEM. So the governance dashboard within the solution displays retention alerts as well as retention and DLP statistics to help you keep track of retention policies and violations of DLP rules. You can imagine how great that is for the likes of data protection officers and compliance managers to be able to access that kind of easy reporting. So as we see in the end user perspective below, you can monitor all of those alerts, every single what, when, who, how action is audited and is reportable, and all in one central place for ease of security management and complete protection. And then in step 7, we have digital rights management. So the FileCloud DRM functionality protects intellectual property and sensitive data by requiring that they be viewed through a secure viewer that can block downloading and printing or even hide portions of content. So that's actually restricting what is visible on the recipient screen. And the file is downloaded in a document container and accessed with a key. So as an end user, you would have view-only access when you export a document, and you must view it through the FileCloud secure viewer using that access key. So there you have it, really, a complete compliance and data governance strategy based on something as simple as adding the word confidential to a document. Obviously, you could apply the same strategy to payment card information, personally identifiable information, protected health information, etc., etc.